flame that is within you to join the service to take our nation forward. Today, I'm not going to be talking about what I did during my preparations, what books I studied to get into the civil service. In fact, I would say that the exam that I took 11 years ago, the system has changed a lot. So the books that I read might not be relevant now. So I wouldn't be dwelling on that. So if any one of you today came for this seminar with a hope that Armstrong Pame will be able to give you a list of books, how to read the newspaper, your expectations will not be met. However, today I'm going to share what inspired me to be an IAS and the little things that I've been doing over the last few years of being in the service and what inspires me to keep doing even more. So I've made a small presentation for all of us. I know many of you must be tired of presentations, but nonetheless, since this is the only mechanism to show you pictures to convince you better, I thought this is the best possible way. So, for me, the principles that has been followed from the beginning till now is this. If you know where you want to be, and most importantly, why you want to be there, finding the way to get there isn't the toughest job. The toughest job is knowing the reason why you want to be there. For me, why I chose to be an IAS is very clear right from the time I was in the 3rd standard. I grew up from a place like this. If you see on the left-hand side picture, this was when I was an SDM way back in 2012. I used to walk on foot as a child. And as I grew up, people continue to still walk on foot. And yes, let me admit the fact that till today, people still do walk on foot from villages to villages and from village to the district headquarters. So if you can identify me, the first guy with a stick, that's me. On the right-hand side is me sharing food with the walkers. That was during the construction of the People's Road. I was visiting the roadside. I shared dinner and I slept in the same room that these walkers slept. Well, I'll dwell on it a little later, but I may not dwell on it so much. This was the execution of the People's Road. On the left-hand side, you'll see lots of people, women, folks, men, children, coming out and working to ensure that this dream project of theirs is met on time. On the right-hand side, if you see the celebration that we had after the road constructions, a village which never saw vehicle in the history of their village since the beginning of the world. So over 200 vehicles on the day of inauguration. See, okay, the next pictures will be inspiring. So as a boy studying in 3rd standard, a teacher of that school where I studied asked us to do a mass march during the 15th August. So I imagine myself as one of these boys, on the right-hand side, if you see. I had only one pair of uniform. The shoes, since it is drenched in the mud and rain, it gets torn. So during one of these mass parts on the 15th August, I don't know, so how many years back now, we were giving a salute to the deputy commissioner who was hoisting the flag. So I asked my teacher after the mass part, I asked, who is this person whom we are saluting? So my teacher answered me, he is the deputy commissioner of this district, under whom so many things can be done. So from that time onward, I knew what deputy commissioner, what an IAS officer actually is. Though never fully, I heard the name. I wanted to be him. I wanted to be someone who can bring changes. You know, villagers have to walk on foot like this. The reason why I want to be an IAS is very clear. If I can bring a little change in the lives of the people who experience similar hardships and troubles, who undergoes this pain on daily basis, if I can bring some changes in the lives of these people, why not? I become one. Today, as a deputy commissioner, in 2017, as a deputy commissioner, I was able to take the salute from children. My dream came true. I wanted to enhance this ground to, even if it rains, I want to make it a dry ground so that the children can do mass parts and people can come and play even during the rain. So, friends, I'm telling you, I'm very excited to tell you that through various projects of the government, we are presently making a ground. And in the next, if everything goes all right, children during this 15 August, during this coming 15 August, will be able to walk on a dry ground. So for me, I knew what I wanted to become, that is an IAS officer. And the reason why I wanted to become was very clear. And that is how, irrespective of whatever hurdles that came my way, I gave my best because the reason was so clear. Why I want to be an IAS was so crystal clear, nothing could stop me. And God's grace has always been with me, and that is how today what I am. I am what I am today. So now, what are the opportunities available after being in the service? I know many of you aspires to be one. You may be wondering, what are the opportunities that will come your way? Some of you may think, I want to be powerful, I want to exercise power, I want to live in bungalow, this and that. You may have various reasons. Now, let me tell you some of the opportunities that will shock you. So, as a kid, I used to, after wanting to be an IAS officer, I used to roam around the periphery of the DC's bungalow and also the DC's office. I really wanted to know what are the things that goes on in the DC office. See, you just cannot browse into DC's bungalow, right, and just see what's going on. No. So one afternoon, as I was sitting down in my office, I looked back at my school days. I was thinking, Armstrong, there might be a lot of children who must be dreaming what you dreamt of when you were a school kid. So why not give them an opportunity? And that is how I started this initiative of inviting 40 children every second and fourth Friday of the month. I give them time to come and interact with me in the office, share their visions, share their dreams. And after they do that, in the night, For dinner, I take them, have dinner with them. I realize that these children do have the burning desire in their hearts. I learn much more from them than they learning from me. So coming back to this, the opportunities which you wanted to see as a child, today as an IAS officer, I'm able to let the dreams of these children come true. This is one of the opportunities. I feel so blessed that I'm able to have met over 500 children of my district through these little small initiatives. Be ready for this. Don't only think that IAS is only about good houses, good cars. No. This is in one of my tours to villages since I was walking on foot during the rainy season. Don't think that I did it, I photographed this deliberately. No. A staff of mine took a photograph of this. I wasn't aware. If I was aware that the leech is there on my neck, I would have been like, so fast to remove it. So be ready for such an experiment also, to go through such an experience too. As I was walking on foot from one village to the other, journeys are tiring, but we still have to go through this. So if you feel that after getting into the service, you are only to live in cities, you might have heard of people who only chose to be in cities or go only to a preferred, better developed cadres. I don't think that is true for all of us. For people like me, uh, difficult posting comes. Posting in remote areas is given. So I gladly accept them and I try to execute whatever responsibility is given to me to the best. Now, don't think that your life will end up in a village. No. Opportunities are given to you. Being in the IAS, I can also tell you that opportunities are also unparalleled. Here, if you know this person, on the left hand side, I went for a talk show invited by Amitabh Ji. And also, if you see on the right hand side, this was in the World Economic Forum meeting. I'm sure you recognize this person, Jack Ma. So we were given a time to interact. If you can make out where I am, the guy with the red tie, I'm there interacting with him. And not only this, sometimes you get a stage in the world platform. This is Sheryl Sandberg hosting me at Davos World Economic Forum meeting. I was not a known guy there, though the party was hosted in my honor. When I came, I was just a small boy, small chap. The Europeans there, the Americans there, so huge. So before the party started, I just first of all, the security guard said, no, it's not yet time, and okay, I waited for 10 more minutes. Then I went inside. I, along with my wife, we were just standing in the one corner, finding no space. There were too many people trying to interact with Sheryl Sandberg. All the cameras were focused in the front, So finally, Sheryl Sandberg called out, "Where is Armstrong? This is done in your honor." All the camera people were looking, "Where is Armstrong?" Finally, I said, "Okay," I raised my hand. "Here I am, Sheryl." Then they were surprised. All the camera had to turn backward. So I came front, So this was in January 2019. Let me just read out Firstly, Facebook is turning up the volume on the feel good stories from its community of 2 billion users. As an example, blah, 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 blah. This relates to the nearest hospital, this and that. So, this was published in Business Standard. So, what I mean to say is that, being an IAS officer, don't only think that you will also land up in a village life. No. Yes, you have your certain shares of difficulties posting, but you are also presented with an unparalleled opportunity. Now, what keeps me going and the desires that I continuously have in my heart and what inspires me to do even better? I'll share with you some of the few examples which I encounter almost on daily basis and why I love my dog. I'll give you an example of this. So the women here, just 31 years old, her husband passed away just, the time when she came, that was in 2017, I think December. She came to me 2 months after her husband passed away, leaving behind 4 children. So she came to me and started requesting, "Sir, I have 4 children to take care of. I want to take care of their education. Now my husband has died of cancer. What should I do?" I was also lost. What should I do? There is no readily available loan. The only thing that was available was the widow pension of 200 rupees per month. What good can she get out of that? There is one-time beneficiaries loan of, one-time beneficiary scheme of 20,000, but that takes time for widows. So trying to explore this possibility, I asked, "What can you do? What do you want to do?" She said, "Sir, since I am from another district, but married, since my husband is from here, I have a good relationship with the shopkeepers there in my native place. There's lots of things, stuffs, which I can buy from there and resell it here." Okay, great. So I explored the possibility of getting her a mudra loan, which the government of India had launched through a bank. So I wrote to the bank manager, "Please give her a mudra loan of rupees 1 lakh. It was given the next day. She started this, and about 1 year later, 8 months later, when I called her up, she was all up in tears and saying, "Sir, today I'm able to admit all my children in good schools, able to buy them uniforms and books, and my business is flourishing, all thanks to you." You know, those are the opportunities to bring change, at least in her lives and the lives of her children, through a small effort. Next, these boys that you see with all boots, I used to wonder, as a child, we could never afford to buy a football. So we used to collect plastics and wrap around with us, with a thread and kick it as a football. So when I was the sports director, I said, "Armstrong, you got to do something. There are so many more village kids who must be dreaming the same dream that you dream of, wanting to have a boot on their own, wanting to have football boot on their own, football on their own." So I said, okay, this passion is still there, especially with our children. So one day I call this Tata Trust. They are running a lot of programs in Manipur. So I invited some of them, had a detailed meeting on how to do this and how to go about. And after 3 months of continuous work, we were able to launch 30 grassroots football schools all across Manipur. Every school will have at least 50 children, 20, 35 boys, and 15 girls. They would be provided with uniforms, football kits, everything. My chief minister was the one who launched. And in the here on the left side picture, you'll see the trustee of the Tata Trust coming over for launching of these wonderful initiatives. And we said, okay, fine. Now that the village grassroots schools of football is established, since Manipur has so much of talent in football, we need to do something further. So we sat down together, explored other possibilities, and during my tour to Europe, I went to Atletico de Madrid football school. Of course, Tata Trust already had some tie-up because they have been running this program for a long time. I visited myself. Now you'll see this. 10 children selected from Manipur and other parts of Northeast, of which 5 of them are from Manipur. Finally, they are being trained to become the next Ronaldo, Messi, or even better. They are trained free of cost, all sponsored by Tata Trust. Many of these children who are there are from an extremely poor background, but talented. So this, I think, is the second year that these boys are in these training schools. So this is one of the thing. These are a few of the things that keeps me going, making them realize the dreams, helping to fulfill the dreams of the people whom I felt really needs boost, whose dream, if we don't help support, they would never come up. They would never come to see the reality. So these boys are actually living the dream that they are seeing on TV, that they saw on TV. So I'm glad to be a part of that. So these are a few of the things that keeps me going. Now, some important points that you need to note while preparing. This may not be applicable to all of you, but maybe to some of you. Now, when you are preparing for this exam, you stay focused no matter what happens. So let me just give you an example. Since I wanted to be an IAS, I said, okay, after my 12th exam, despite scoring high marks in 12th, I said, okay, let me not go for engineering, let me not go for medical, let me straight away go and do my graduation. So I went to St. Stephen's College, did physics honors from there. Right after physics, graduation, I enrolled myself for some of the coaching programs. There were lots of people saying this and that, why don't you do this and that? I said, no, let me focus myself to becoming what I dreamt of. So I kept myself ready, totally immersed, totally focused on what I wanted to become and why I wanted to become. So with this focused being, already fixed, nothing could distract me further. Now, second thing, be ready to face disappointment. Though I grew up from a poor family background, my parents had given me the best possible education. So in all of this school life, or even in college life, I had never failed so much. So when I wrote my first prelims, I got through. When I wrote my mains, I was quite sure I'm gonna get through. So when the mains result came, my roll number was not there. So I was thinking, how can I fail? I was so disappointed. Went and completely shaved off my hair, like seeing yourself disappointed for the first time. I said, is life over for me? Am I never gonna make it? So I consoled myself, Armstrong, you have dedicated yourself towards becoming an IAS officer. You should be patient. You have to be able to take disappointment. Maybe this is teaching you that even if you get into the service, there will be lots of times when you face disappointment in service. So I consoled myself, went back to study. In my second attempt, I was quite sure since the exam went very well. I said, okay, you're surely gonna make it. I was less, I fell short by about 5 marks to get into the IAS. I got into the revenue service. I think, what is this? You have given your best, this and that. I was quite disappointed. The result came on Friday. I was very disappointed. Slept for the whole day. Saturday, I woke up, start preparing for the prelims. That was to happen on Sunday. So I went and gave my prelims again. So, folks, so in the third attempt, yes, I made it to where I am today. So be ready to face disappointment when you write this exam. And also, folks, it is also important. How many years of your life are you willing to give this exam for? Of course, there are people who got through after 10 years of preparation or even 6-7 years of preparation. I was quite sure that I started preparing at the age of 21. So I was saying to myself that, Armstrong, you have to be ready to give it at least 4 to 5 years to get through this exam. So I fixed myself also a target. So God's grace, I got it in my third attempt. So I was able to make it in the first 3 years of my trying. So you also, I think, needs to give this fix, and this dedicated number of years, you have to really, really, really give your best. Now, the last point, when you are preparing, it's not so important to have second option. You want to be in this service, to get through this civil service means you actually have to get through this. I did not join any of the MSc programs. I cracked the IAT exams, jam, this and that to join, my MSc MTech program. No, I did not go there. People were saying you can continue other working here. You can try bank exam. Other things they were telling me, but I said no. At least this 3 to 5 years, let me concentrate on nothing else. No second option. Do or die. Let me give my best. That was what I committed myself. So I do not have second option when I was preparing for this exam. I don't know if it applies to you, but it was so true for me. Since I did chair, I did not have AC, I did not have cooler, I just had fan. Sitting under that hot sun, and studying, sweating, waking up early in the morning, staying late till morning. Since I did not have any other second option, I just have to give myself the best of what I could get it through this exam. And that is how I think I was able to crack it. before I turned 25. So, last message to younger generation like all of you, I'll just share you with this.